everybody. We're Coaching Queens 2020. I am Queen Bee Baumgarth.
I am Queen Bee Buhrow, and today we have John Largent joining us from San Antonio, Texas. And it's just as hot there as it is here in Wisconsin. So it makes me feel a little better that we're not, ending the world here or anything. So, as most people know, we like to talk about inner peace, and we like to know what everybody's inner peace is. So, John, the first question, and usually one of the only questions we ever ask because we don't do the whole typical interview thing. What does inner peace look like for you? Because it looks different for everyone. We all have our own versions of it. So, how does that look for you? And if you want, you can run with it and go into how you use it in your everyday life to live your best life.
Well, thank you for having me on. This is a real honor and treat. I'm excited to talk to you. Inner peace is something that hasn't come easy for me. I think that there's a lot of things in my life, as in everybody's life, that keeps them from really attaining that true balance. But, in the last few years, I've really gotten into meditation, and also I listen to some waveforms and sounds that are alpha waves that help me kind of relax and chill out. And I do that usually when I get home from work, and it's really created an inner peace in me that I haven't had. I'm in my mid 50s, and so this is new for me, but it's something that I'm very much enjoying because my career has been stressful at times. My background is as a healthcare administrator, so I ran hospitals and often had ulcers and things like that just drove me crazy, and it was just one of those things that I knew I couldn't continue to live that way. So I've been seeking out things. The other thing that I find is I've recently taken up mountain biking. I really enjoy getting away from the city, out on the trails, and enjoying that. And I don't listen to music or anything. If I see a squirrel or a deer or something else or a fox, I'll pull over and just watch them for a while. And so, those are just really simple things that I do that help keep me somewhat balanced and stable, and help me find that inner happiness and peace that I think everyone's looking for.
You bike ride. I tried bike riding once. My
well,
MS.
I hadn't ridden a bike in many, many years, and it is very true what they say. And that took a little bit of just coordination and balance again, but it is, it's like riding a bicycle. Once you get back on and you get comfortable, it's really very fun and very relaxing, especially if you can go out and do some nature trails and things like that. But I really enjoy it. It's something that brings me great joy. And I get up early and get out there before the heat gets too oppressive. And it's so much fun, and I enjoy it very much. It's one of the things I really look forward to.
Do you guys have a lot of cool biking trails? Or like here in Wisconsin, we have a lot of state parks that are very nature with trails. So you can go biking on paved roads and not have to work too hard. It's kind of hard to find that be off the beaten path thing.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. I live in the city, and right across one main road from my home is a linear park, and so it connects. It's called the Leon Creek pathway, and it goes all throughout the city. So I can bike just about anywhere and be in the middle of the city and feel like you're in the middle of nature. There are like hidden ponds and waterfalls and cliffs and things that you would never know commuting to work or going downtown, that exist in and around the city, kind of underneath the city. So it's really a different perspective of a city I've been living in for 25 years.
We have a Katy trail that's out here, and what my problem is that it's gravel on some of the spots. And I took a bike out. My husband and I decided to take a bike out and rent a bike. We were in St. Charles, Missouri, And I started going on gravel, and it's like I was on blacktop, and okay, I can ride a bike. This is great. I got on the gravel, and I thought I need to go faster because I'm losing my balance if I go slow. And I went so fast that with my MS, I just used all my energy, and I sat down. I stopped and I looked, and I could still see where I started from. And I'm like, well, this is a good idea.
Well, I'll tell you that the biking, the bike I have has really fat tires, and I went out on a day that it had lightly misted, and so I was making a sharp turn. This was like, I felt like the kid on A Christmas Story. You remember the kid that got the BB gun, and the mom kept saying, "You'll shoot your eye out."
Yeah.
Well, with my bike, my wife kept telling me, "Be careful. You're not, 25 anymore. You know, make sure you don't fall." And the first day I had the bike and I made the turn, that big tire, because it was brand new, slid out from under me, and I took a tumble down a hill.
Oh, wow.
And I came back with like skin knee, things that you happen when you're like 14 or 12 or whatever. I had skin knees, skinned elbows, and I was just nonchalant about it. And she's like, "Well, what happened there? It looks like you fell." And I was like, "Oh no, it was just a little, it's fine." And inside I was like, "Oh."
Just testing
being in our mid-50s, which I won't say, I probably have on other shows. I won't say where I'm at, but in my mid-50s, we don't heal like we used to.
That is very true. That is very true. And
you also listen to wavelengths, you said, or how do you explain that?
Yeah, there's a there's a guy based in Canada that I just did some research and was like, what can I do to really almost get into a hypnotic state where you kind of have all the things around you just kind of melt away and you can kind of focus on some things. And so I found this guy, and he has different sounds for different things that you are trying to accomplish. So the one I listen to is called Alpha Mind Control. And it basically is just these pulses that are supposed to train your brain to come in alignment with the sounds that you hear. And it's really strange because I will get in my comfy chair and put the seat back and put my headphones on, the noise cancellation things, and within like 2 minutes I'm gone. And I will, he brings me out of the hypnotic state, and it's been like an hour and a half, and it's just so relaxing and so calming, and there's a lot of visualization that goes on with it. You're going through space and all that. So it's really, for someone that hasn't tried it, it's probably sounds very foreign. And the first time I tried it, I was very skeptical, but I have found it to be really one of the highlights of my day is coming home and putting on those headphones and kind of drifting off for a bit and rejuvenating my thinking and my energy and all that. So it's really quite interesting. And he has other waveforms for if stress relief. There's one for if you're really stressed out, and there's one for focus and productivity. And so you kind of get to pick your poison on what you want to focus on that day if you don't want to listen to the same thing. But it's fascinating. And I did some homework on it to make sure I wasn't being programmed to go out and rob banks or something, but but really found out that it's very helpful for me, and I really enjoy it.
It's funny that you I'm sorry, go ahead, hon.
Oh, no, go ahead. I just said I do that stuff
too. When I had my heart attack and I was listening to the beep, and I just meditated, and first I started counting, and then I just was saying what it was, beep, beep, and that's just how different sounds and stuff like that. I was startled when a nurse would come into the hospital room, it would break me out of a trance that I didn't know I was in.
Yep.
Do you have like white noise in your when you sleep, like a fan or
A fan.
anything like
I
that?
have a
Yeah.
fan.
It's the same thing. You get used to that. I know on our trip, we didn't have a fan and I had a hard time sleeping because I was really used to that sound. And so the second day we were there, I went and bought a little fan and put it right by my ear. It wasn't very, it was about this big, but it was the noise and it worked really well. So
I
we
do
do
that
get
at
used to that.
the theta waves are great for at night.
Mm.
I put in the earbuds and then I sleep because we have a state highway right outside of our building. So you hear all the trucks all the time. And I'm like, I need to make this stop. So I do that. Beta is beta the one? Yeah, the beta's the one that gets our brains moving. So like when I really need to focus and do some good productivity, I pop that on. I'm getting it. The kids are starting to tune into it. Blah, words elude me today. I love meditation, especially the
Yeah.
guided stuff, because then I don't have to, I just sit there and I'm like, oh, my brain says thank you. It doesn't have to do the thanks. So it's incredible. I don't know about you. I use YouTube a lot for that stuff.
Yeah, I've explored several things, ASMR and kind of the sounds that are, cause different reactions and things. And it's really new to me, just that whole mindset. So, but for self-preservation's sake, I'm really trying to expand my horizons on that. And found some really interesting things. And I think anybody that can do that, and in different times of your life, you have different opportunities. Like if you have kids or young kids, especially, you just don't. It's hard to make that time. It's hard to be alone.
Right.
And as my kids have moved out, and it's just my wife and I, and I have more of that kind of downtime or self time that
Self-care.
allows me to do more of that kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. I love your sign, Joan. I keep looking at it. Like it's
I got it. It was
new.
a blank wall. I took some advice and we had to have something up on the wall and it was just like, be happy and caring. And then it said, wait, be kind.
Yep.
But my head.
Yeah, I love that too.
Every time I look up, I'm like, oh, it's new. It's thrown me for a loop today. I'll get the hang of it. There's the change. My brain's hiccuping.
We were at a C-suite event and the sign fell down. I had tape down and one of the people in the breakout room and I'm trying to, the show must go on and ignore it and all this. And they're all pointing behind me, pointing to the screen and your sign fell. I said, I know.
Well, speaking of bees, have you heard anything new about the status of the bee population? I know in the last 3 or 4 years, there was this shortage of bees and they were dying and disappearing. And I haven't heard anything recently, but we have considered doing one of those home, beehive things that you can kind of create your own honey, and they've got a honeycomb to live in and all that. But has that gotten better, or do you know if that's happening still?
I haven't heard anything on like population increase. I think there's 2 or 3 of the kids in the youth group that are going to start doing that home beehive thing, and I'm like, awesome. It can't hurt. I mean, well, unless you piss them off and you get stung, then you're just dumb. But they're looking, they think I'm crazy. But I haven't actually heard anything on population. Okay, we're just gonna throw my stuff on the floor.
We're dropping things. We're just dropped and
welcome to the Queen Bees. We're so on top of this stuff. It's just whipping stuff. I pulled a Joan moment with my pen and had a twitch and threw it. So okay, I'll get that later. But now I want to look that up. So I'm gonna make a note. I have another pen and check on that because we kind of need those little.
For a loop. You hiccuped us.
You did.
Well, I just, that's one of those things where I've always had a little bit of an interest. We live in a part of the world where we have a lot of seasonal people that come to Texas, and some of the groups that come to Texas are beekeepers, and they go between here and like Minnesota and Wisconsin, and they that's their lifestyle. They spend
Mhm.
half the year up there and half the year down here. And it's just been interesting because I know that there has been a crisis as far as bees, and the reach of not having bees is far. I mean, they pollinate flowers. There are a lot of things in the ecosystem that are reliant on bees. So I hope they're doing well.
True
Well, I guess
story.
I should say that my sister is a beekeeper.
Oh,
That
Is she?
eluded us. Yeah, she is in
Oh,
Columbia. She has a little two houses or hives or whatever, two little white things, and she was real funny. She put on the whole bee costume, outfit and stuff, and she had the hat on backwards. So when the flap came down and she's trying to look up above it and just, I
now
guess
does
it
she
was,
have the smoke and all that
oh
they
yeah, she
use
has the
to?
smoke, yeah.
wow.
That
But she
always
lives right
looks.
by the swimming pool, so I don't go swimming much when I go see her. I thought that was kind of close.
Yeah, yeah, and you never want to confuse bees with like wasps or yellow
No.
jackets or hornets, because
No,
you'll
no,
get attacked pretty quickly.
you'll have a bad day.
You will have a
That's why
bad
I
day.
scream and run away, just out of safety. I don't want to take that chance. That, and I'm kind of a wuss. But so in discovering this in the last few years, has it actually had that peace and that ability to at least attain it when you need it? Has that actually had a positive impact on just your everyday life, business? Has it been kind of a big thing? You said you were in the medical field prior to this, and now you're a podcaster, correct? Am I using the
Yeah,
right? Okay.
yeah, I made a real change, and part of it was in search of inner peace and safety and those kind of things that make you more of a person. I feel like when I was in my 20s, 30s, and my mid 40s, that's a pretty good swath of time. I was really high strung and really, you know, climbing that corporate ladder and doing all those things and not being, true to myself. I tried to hide my accent. I know I've got a twang in my voice, but I would try to, I would try to speak like this so I didn't sound like, it's all this fakery.
Mhm.
And the older you
Victory,
get,
that's a good word.
yeah, it's just, I mean, it was not intended to intentionally mislead someone. It was basically my own insecurity with the fact that I, have this really distinct accent, and among other things. But I found that in the course of the last few years, it has changed everything. Everything from my relationships with my kids, which has always been good, but they always knew when I was really tightly strung, and so they would just keep their distance. I never
Mhm.
I never lashed out at them or beaten my kids or anything like that. But they
Mhm.
just knew that, hey, he's kind of high strung, and I just don't get high strung anymore. I feel like I have found that ability to be in the moment with people instead of
Mhm.
looking for the next thing or working on the next project. I can be in the moment. I can spend time with whoever it is that I'm speaking to, whether it's my family or someone on the street or in a meeting. I can really focus in on my time, and it's really because I really work to live in the moment, and that comes from having that or learning these new skills that allows me to not be impatient about things
You
and
live in the
really
now.
appreciate the things that are going on right now, because you never know when those things that are happening right now are going to be things that you remember 20 or 30 years from now. Again, going back to our trip to Cedar Point, no phone and no screens the entire time, so that I could
Wonderful.
enjoy my family. And it was really, the first day or so was really, I felt, okay, where's my phone? What's going on? But after the second or maybe the third day, it was really just like, okay, this is how we used to do things. And it was just really refreshing and really good for the soul and good for the mind and good for relationships. So I would encourage anybody, if you get the opportunity, to just turn that stuff off. And right now I've got 5 screens on my desk. So I live in that world, but to get away from it all for just a few days was an amazing experience. And I'm now going to make that part of my, anytime I go away for any kind of pleasure. I'm not, I'm not going to turn my phone on or bring my laptop, because I've got to be in the minute.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Well, I can't thank you enough for joining us.
Well, thank you. This has been great. I feel more inner peace just spending time with you. It's just the conversation has been so relaxing and cathartic in a lot of ways, just to talk about these things, because I don't get a chance to talk about them that much. So thank you so much.
No problem. Yeah. Hey, you guys stay right there. We'll be back in just a minute.
Finally, a better way to hold your phone. Introducing Steady Straps. Made here in the USA, Steady Straps are high-quality, flexible straps that adjust to hold virtually any phone comfortably and securely. Steady Straps are washable and come in a wide range of colors and styles. See them all at SteadyStraps.com. Because they're so visible, they're the perfect promotional item to advertise your company message or logo. Learn more at SteadyStraps.com. That's SteadyStraps.com.
Hey guys, we're back. Okay, that was really cool.
Yeah, that was.
I love how he uses the outdoors and meditations. I use the brain waves all the time, especially during, like, if I'm working on a computer, pop them in on a low sound. It keeps you focused, and it drowns out all the distractions around you. And I could spend, 3-4 hours on the computer doing video edits and all that kind of stuff, and I'll walk away and I don't feel drained. It's an incredible thing. So I love how people are so willing to just share their human side with us. And
it's nice to know him on a personal level. We've known him through C-Suite, and and that is we've met a lot of nice people there that we have got to know on a personal level, and that's what we're all about.
Yeah.
So
pretty cool. I love it.
And we need to find out more about bees. Maybe we can.
Oh, you know it. As soon as we get off of this, I'm going to be all like sending messages to people, and
I need to find out about bees. If I have beehives behind me.
True story.
Or bee. Yay, bee.
You could put some in your backyard.
No, not by the swimming pool. Yeah. So anyway, we have Larry Walters coming up. Larry Walters, who is the inventor of the Steady Strap. Yeah, you hold on to it. Nice.
Okay. Works good too if you're biking.
Yes.
Or, you can still Google Maps things if you want.
Well, I got MS, and so holding the phone like this, my fingers go numb. So it's nice that I could just hold it like that. And
I'm just a natural klutz. So at night, I don't karate chop my face and end up with a black eye anymore. So I'm pretty happy about that.
And then we have Sheila Anderson coming up the 12th. Mm-hmm. So stay with us, watch the show. You never know where the conversation's going to go. So thank you guys for joining us. And I just want to say, may the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord turns his face towards you and give you peace. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye, guys.